Sophie dreamed of becoming a ballerina. She practiced endlessly, perfecting every step. But on the night of her biggest performance, disaster struck. Her slipper tore just before she went on stage. Panic set in. "I can't dance like this," she whispered. Then, her teacher placed a hand on her shoulder. "Dance isn't about perfection, it's about passion." Taking a deep breath, Sophie stepped onto the stage. With each move, she forgot about the slipper, lost in the music. When the final note played, the audience erupted in applause. That night, she learned that true art isn't flawless, it's fearless. Emma and Noah had been married for 40 years, but he had never danced with her. She often teased him, "Will you ever dance with me?" He would smile and say, "One day." On their anniversary, Emma walked into their living room to find it transformed: fairy lights, soft music, and Noah standing there, hand outstretched. "Why now?" she asked, heart racing. He pulled her close and whispered, "Because I finally realized love isn't about waiting for the right moment. It's about making every moment right." They swayed together as if time itself had stopped. Love doesn't wait for perfection, it creates it in the moments we share. Once upon a time, a proud prince ruled over a vast kingdom. One day, he saw an old peasant planting apple seeds along the road. The prince laughed. "Why plant trees you'll never see grow?" The peasant smiled. "I enjoy the shade of trees others planted before me. I do this for the ones who will come after." The prince scoffed and rode away. Years later, the prince lost his way during a storm. Weary, he rested under a giant apple tree, its branches heavy with fruit. He realized it was one of the trees the peasant had planted. Humbled, he whispered, "The greatest deeds aren't for ourselves, but for those who follow." Ethan and Jake loved flying kites together. One windy afternoon, Ethan brought his favorite kite, boasting it would reach the highest. Jake, with his smaller, worn kite, simply laughed and said, "Let's see." As Ethan's kite soared, a sudden gust snapped the string, sending it spiraling down. Frustrated, Ethan watched his kite land far in a tree. Jake offered his own kite, but Ethan refused. Instead, Jake climbed the tree to retrieve the broken kite. After some effort, he handed it back to Ethan. "Kites break, but friendship shouldn't," Jake said, smiling. Ethan looked at his friend and realized the kite wasn't what mattered, it was Jake's willingness to help, even when Ethan had been selfish. From that day, their bond grew stronger, proving that true friends don't let pride or setbacks break what truly matters. Ethan and Lily met at a train station, sharing coffee and laughter as they waited. When Lily's train arrived, she hesitated. "Maybe I'll stay," she said playfully. Ethan grinned. "Then we'd have forever to talk." But before he could ask for her number, she stepped onto the train, waving goodbye. Ethan searched for her for months, visiting the station daily, hoping she'd return. One rainy evening, he sighed, ready to give up, until he heard a familiar voice. "Missed my train again," Lily said, smiling. Ethan laughed. "Good. Now we have forever." Sometimes, love isn't about chasing, it's about waiting for fate to bring you back together.